So we bought this pretty wrecked, cheap Nissan Sentra in the last video. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll leave it linked down below. It'll also be in this iCard right up here. But guys, in the last video you guys saw, we rebuilt this car completely, guys, for $0 in the last video. And this car actually does run and drive phenomenally, and it functions. Even that headlight surprisingly still works. But now we're going to fix this car for reals. We have all the parts needed to go ahead and get this car 100% better, and we're probably also going to be fixing a lot of stuff on this car that just got bad from normal wear. So this car is going to look really good. Right behind me here, you can see this door is looking a little bit different right now. And
just unlocked.
Did it just unlock? I knocked on it. It locked.
Oh, it locked. I unlocked it before the video started. It just locked itself when you knocked on it.
But this door right here, we did a little bit of body work on it to see if it was savable because we weren't too sure. It's looking good, so we're gonna go ahead and finish this up. It's actually almost done. We just need to go ahead and block it down and primer it. But you guys did not miss anything over here, because before we go ahead and reveal all the parts that we're gonna do on this car, we're gonna fix some of the body work. This is not the only body work. If you guys follow me over here onto this other side, the damage on this car kind of spread its way around the car. So I don't know if this is caused by the accident or if it's just normal wear, but we're gonna fix it. There's a little bit of a dent right here, and then right on this lower section here, it got a little bit scraped. So it should be pretty simple to fix. This just needs a light glaze. As you can see, all the gaps are still great. It did not damage anything on the edges of the door. It's just right focused, like pretty much right over here. So get a light glaze on that. We can get this painted in.
Just a little bit of hammering here.
Yeah, just a little
bit of hammering.
A little bit of hammering, a little bit of straightening, getting everything nice and lined up, getting stuff pulled out. And then we should be able to save this door just like the other side. And then we're gonna go ahead and do all the other stuff on this car. We have to straighten some of the frame rails out, replace some frame rails, put the hood on. The hood is a little damaged, so we're gonna have to fix it a little bit and wet sand everything and get this thing ready for paint. Our goal is to get this thing painted in by tomorrow, which is gonna be in this video. So let's just go ahead and jump into the bodywork real quick, and I'm gonna walk you guys through everything, because for me, when I started off doing bodywork, guys, I was a little bit intimidated by it and I was scared by it. But I think we're starting to get the hang of it, so I'm gonna explain to you guys the steps that I use to do bodywork, and you know, then you guys can do bodywork as well. So I'm gonna walk you through all this. Let's go ahead and get these bodyworks all knocked out around the car, then we'll move on to other cool things and get this car repaired in one video. And that includes paint. Let's do it.
Like the river flows, life will take you where you need to go.
I'm thinking since both bodywork areas are pretty close to each other, we're just gonna go ahead and take this door off and do everything separately. Do the door off the car and then fix that. And I feel like we'll have more working room on that bottom rocker panel. So let's take this door off. All right, got the door off, and it is right over here on this paint stand. And then right over here, you can see there's a very little one that needs some work. So we can get all this stuff done pretty easily. We can tap some stuff down, pull stuff out. So let's go ahead and get everything body worked out so we can go ahead and move on to the rest of this beautiful car. Okay, so basically the steps that we're gonna take here, we're gonna dry sand this all down, the bodywork area. We're gonna dry sand this down to 180 grit with 180 grit sandpaper. After you go ahead and sand it down, before you apply your filler, go ahead and clean with some wax and grease remover so you have a clean surface. Then we're gonna get some of our glazing putty. We're gonna lay a nice glob and lay a bead of the hardener across it. We're gonna lay it down onto here. We're gonna let it cure. It takes maybe like 15-20 seconds for it to cure. Just wait a little bit, you know, make sure it's nice and hard. And then we'll go ahead and sand it down with 180. And once we get everything formed, if there's any body lines, we'll put a tape on this side with the tape line against here, sand this, and then we'll move the tape down this side and sand it up here to get that nice line uniformed. And then after that, we will go ahead and sand everything down again with a 320 grit to smoothen everything out. And then we'll be ready for some primer. Let's do it. Wax and grease remover after you're all done sanding. Wax and grease remove everything. Self-etch primer the bare metal surfaces, and then try to dry sand those down. And then use some 2K high build primer so then you can block out the whole piece to get nice and smooth. Blocking means to sand it like nice and smooth with about a 320 grit. Alright guys, in following those steps, we were able to get that bottom portion of the door completely fixed. And then there was a little bit of damage right there at the top that I went ahead and took care of. And then my brother and I went ahead and did this rocker area right there. And then we finished up this door on this side. And then there was a little bit of damage on the new hood, but we went ahead and got the damage fixed, and we'll show you guys the hood in a second. So I told you guys the steps on how to do the body work, and we basically just did it here.
and then we went ahead and did it in all the other areas just real quick off camera, because it is pretty time consuming stuff and it is very repetitive and it can get really, really boring. It's probably one of my least favorite things to do on a car. But when you do finish up some body work, it is very rewarding to see all your sculpting and artwork kind of come to life, and it looks really good to know that you're able to save that panel and you're able to save some money in your pocket, my very dusty pockets. But yeah, bodywork done now. We can move on to some more of the funner stuff, which is putting new parts on the car. So it's really late right now. It's like 10 o'clock. So we'll see you guys tomorrow in the morning where we can be loud. See you guys then.
All right, guys, so it is the next day here now, and we're gonna go ahead. We finished all the body work last night, so now we're gonna go ahead and tear off all these damaged parts, this hood, this fender, headlight, bumper, and then there's some other stuff behind the bumper, some hidden damages that we've already addressed, like the frame rail extensions that we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take all the damaged pieces off this car, guys, and get it ready for the new pieces to go on. And we're gonna install everything that's gonna go on the car that is not getting painted. So all the frame rail extensions and tie bar brackets and bolts, we're gonna put everything on the car. As far as painted things go, we're gonna paint those first, and then we're gonna put the rest of them on the car. So let's just go ahead, get this thing stripped down, put as many parts as we can that aren't getting painted, and then we'll put the rest of the painted things on the car and get this car completely done and 100% good to go. But so far, it's coming out real great. Let's go ahead and tear all this stuff off the car. What's a joke we can make about all those zip ties?
NASA uses zip ties.
The same thing. You could strum a guitar on these too.
When the hood is closed, you can't tell, but when you open it, imagine you were selling this car. It's like, it's a little beaten up, but I could give it to you for a good price. What do you think?
Guys, one owner, never been in an accident.
One owner, never been in an accident. Never been in an accident. One owner.
That's one way to open a zip tie.
One owner, guys.
NASA uses zip ties. Dude, look at this.
One owner. One owner did this to this car previously.
And the second owner is gonna fix it.
Yep.
Ta-da.
Local pickup.
It actually doesn't look that bad. Take off this take off the sardine lid.
Sardine lid. That's a good word for it. Yes.
We're gonna need all these bulbs for the new headlights. So we'll just gently set these down here. Okay. I'm Thor. I'm gonna prove it. See? Watch this.
Yo, Mr. Strongman.
I'm Thor. I'm Thor.
Oops, forgot the bumper bracket.
I'm still Thor.
Mr. Strongman.
Okay, guys, so we got the majority of the stuff off. We got the fender off, the headlight, the bumper, the complete front bumper. And now all we got left to take off is the hood, these hinges, and these frame rail extension pieces and this upper tie bar area here. And then if you look a little bit closely, guys, you could see that as far as frame damage goes, it's not actually damaged. Like, this is where the main damage is, and these are bolt-on parts, but its bracket where it bolts onto is on the main frame rail, and you can see that's pushed back a little bit, and it's a little bit damaged. And if you look closely right over here, guys, it also did break a weld. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna straighten all this stuff out, and we're gonna re-weld everything back together that's broken, and then we're gonna bolt the new frame rails back on. We're gonna fix this frame 100% just so it could be back to its OEM spec. It's
OEM crunch.
It's OEM crunch. So we're gonna go ahead and get that all fixed up, and we're gonna take all these old panels off the car. Probably maybe even take this headlight off too, just to go ahead and fix that side of the frame as well. If there's just to inspect, make sure there's nothing wrong with that. Plus, these headlights are a little bit hazy, and we do want this car to be 100% perfect. So we did actually order a brand new pair of headlights, so we'll have a new one for both sides. This front end's gonna look like this car literally just rolled off the showroom, which is always our goal. So let's just go ahead, take the rest of everything off this car that's damaged, and get that frame repaired, and then we can get the new stuff put back on it. Let's do it. Dude, this one's broken.
Always carry a spare.
Boom! Boom! That gets 5 big booms.
5 big booms.
Alright guys, so we got the rebar off and we got the 2 frame rails exposed right here. The one on this side, this frame rail extension, this one's destroyed, kaputzi. Can't use this one anymore. The faceplate back here that it bolts onto is bent. We're gonna have to straighten it out and weld it back together where the one tack broke right there. So we're gonna have to weld it back. As you can see, it's kind of loose. So we're definitely have to make sure that we can get that nice and welded up. The one on this side, however, upon further examination, we found out that this one isn't even bent or buckled or anything. The plate that it bolts onto is just pushed over ever so slightly, but there's no buckles on it. It's just pushed over ever so slightly. So we're not going to replace this rail because we would like to keep the original factory installed rail onto the car. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bend this back right here. Conveniently, there's a little tow hook hole, so we can just bend this back. And hopefully we can save this rail right here, and then we only have to worry about that one side. So let's just do it. Oh, make sure the bar doesn't snap. Wow, this is a crazy workout.
Release the beast.
Release the beast.
Oh, yeah, that's a beast. Okay, guys, so we just took a thumbnail photo, but in the meantime, while we were taking the photo, we just painted in our new frame rail because we wanted it to match with the other stuff in the car. It's looking really good. Take this and basically just slip it in right here. What's cooking? Good looking. Looks real good. And we're gonna go ahead and bolt those in, and we're gonna see. We got this frame rail straightened, but it needs to go more. As you guys can see, we might have to. If you guys remember how we did it on the Versa like 2 years ago when we did that car, we actually pulled it with the Expedition, pulled it with the truck. Might have to do the same thing here, but it is moving. We just gotta, it's got some reinforcements back here that also are kind of keeping it together. So we just gotta get some leverage on there.
But we're gonna see what we can do. Let's go ahead, put this frame rail on and see if we can slip that rebar into place, and maybe we can get the frame straightened without having to pull it with the car. Let's see.
We went ahead and we put on the frame rail, got everything put on, and then real quick, I just went ahead and I test fitted the brand new fender because the door was sagging a little bit, so we got it nice and lined up. It no longer sags, and we got this all lined up. We do have to throw a little bit of this chip guard here on the bottom of the fender, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. So we put through the fender on so we can line that up. We're just gonna throw the chip guard on, but the fender is not on for good. Obviously, we still have to paint it, and then it's gonna go on the car. But now we are ready to weld. So what's gonna happen now is we're just gonna throw some right here and some right there, and that'll go ahead and seal up every piece of weld that broke on that rail right there. We forgot the welding helmet, so we're not even gonna do safety squints because that's
not gonna look at it.
Yeah, that's not good for you either. So we're literally just gonna line it up with the welder. We're gonna turn this direction, and we're just gonna do it. We're not even gonna look at it. So it's gonna be like we're gonna take it and we're just gonna line it up like this, and we're just gonna go
And then touch it. We're gonna look away and then touch it on it.
Yeah. So let's see how this goes. Let's do it.
Shouldn't be too hard, hopefully.
Yeah. We were planning on doing this last night and be like Frankenstein. It's alive! We just roughened up the metal a little bit more to get it to bare metal, just to make sure that the weld is good.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This is a lot of stuff we're doing in one video.
Yeah.
Welding, painting, bodywork, the whole shebang.
Oh, okay.
Framework.
No, don't look at it. It's tempting, but don't look at it.
Alright, we're gonna do this real quick. We're gonna just beep up right here. Alright.
We're gonna go. That's good. I think it worked. Go a little bit more, actually. All right, guys. In this case, we can't give it one steady tug. It's not working, so we gotta give
a big tug.
Yeah, one very abrupt tug, and it works. So
Be careful of distracting.
yeah,
One more tug.
one more tug.
Alright guys, so it is the next day here, and right now
We took this fender back off the car right now, and this framework came out absolutely amazing. But real quick, guys, I'm actually going to hand the vlog over to my brother. He's gonna go ahead and he's going to scuff down the fender's edges and these hood hinges, and he's gonna spray them in with some pre-mixed paint that we got for this car in a can. What? That's so sick. So the reason he's going to be doing that is so we can go ahead and put the hood hinges on this car for good, because the hood, when you bolt it onto these hinges, it's actually non-adjustable on these brackets here. So when you put it on there, it only goes in one way. So all we got to do is adjust the hinges down here, and then those will be in there for good, and we don't have to worry about adjusting the hood when it's painted. And then the fender, we're painting the edges so we can go ahead and paint that on the car. The hood and the bumper will be painted off the car, but the fender will be painted on the car, because we just think it would be a little bit easier to paint the fender on the car since we are already blending onto the door. So we just think it would be a better idea if we just do it that way. Don't you think so?
I think so.
Yeah, so the proper terminology, if you guys are wondering, is painting the edges around the fender. That term is known as painting the jam, or jamming the fender, I guess. So that's what he's going to do right now. He's just going to jam the fender and I guess the hood hinges and put them on the car for good. So then we don't have to worry about them anymore, and they'll be on the car for good, and we can move on to wet sanding the hood, lining stuff up, and making sure everything looks good before we're ready to paint. So he's going to do that while I go ahead and see if I can find another hoodie, because I don't want to ruin this hoodie, and the other one I've been using is starting to smell like transmission fluid, and it's really dusty from bodywork, and I need something fresh so my skin doesn't get irritated. So I'm going to go see if I can find another hoodie. I'm not going to use this one though, because I really like this one. I don't want to mess it up.
And then we get to throw this on when he gets back.
Yeah, the upper
Nice
tie
touch.
bar. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And the frame, my goodness,
Well,
guys.
this will be tied in with that tie bar.
Look at
and
this. Everything's looking really good on this car so far. So far, so good. Also, my brother just got a new phone. So now
Camera's a lot better.
Yeah, the camera's a lot better. If you guys notice, like when we would like film videos on like the Corvette and stuff, his camera would kind of like do this like weird like pulsating thing. It would like vibrate and move around. It's like something was wrong with this camera, and the audio would like be weird. I did my best when I was editing to like make it not be as bad. So you guys definitely didn't get the worst of it after posting it, but in the editor it was horrible. So
It's a lot better now.
it's a lot, yeah, but now I won't have to worry about it. So this is awesome.
Yeah.
But okay,
Now we're gonna get some nice footage.
video is yours.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah.
We're gonna spray some of this can on these parts. All right, guys, the hood hinges are completely scuffed. They look amazing. So we're gonna go ahead and hit these hood hinges with this paint. Let's go take it outside. We got the SEM clear chip guard, and it's gonna go right here. I've already got this body line from the rocker panel, and then we get to put this on. We're gonna go ahead and spray this on the hood hinges. Oh, he's back. Oh my god. What kind of a hoodie is that? Does it say Honda?
It does say Honda.
Dude, that's sick. No way. Wait, let me see the pack. Hold on. Wait. Dude, that's sick.
Absolutely gift wrapped.
I like that hoodie.
I like it too. I got these pants too, but I
my
chose
God.
black because this can be as dirty as the gutters, and you won't see a stain.
Yeah, that is
You
true.
might see a stain if it's like refrigerant, like green
Yeah.
refrigerant. You probably see it. But yeah, now we're ready.
Wow.
Bust some knuckles.
Bust some knuckles.
I'm gonna need to cut the camera. Ah! I'm kidding.
Bust some knuckles. Check out these hood hinges. Look at how they came out.
Dude, let's go!
Ah, bust some knuckles.
Sorry. Dude, yeah, so we're gonna try to line these up with these previous holes, and hopefully that just lands them in the right spot, and then hopefully we don't have to line these up for too long, and we can get the hood and everything fitted onto the car. And then what's next? Wet sand, right?
Yep.
Then we wet sand.
Yep.
Get ready for some paint, line up stuff. So we're going to go ahead now. We're gonna put the hood hinges on, the fender, line up the gap with the fender, and then after that, I think we'll start wet sanding. I think then we're ready to start getting ready to paint prep. Let's get a fit check on you though. What are you wearing?
The casual Bondo.
You're wearing
Bondo on this stuff.
you're wearing the Seattle, Washington hoodie.
Pajamas with space cancer.
Unidentified flying object. I used the full government name.
And shoes covered in a lot of dust.
Dude, same. It is. That's what we rock.
What do we got here? We got a lot of parts.
Yeah, I just brought some parts out. So we got the tie bar, got the absorber piece that's gonna go right there on the front rebar, reinforcement bar, rebar. That's gonna go up there. Gonna button everything up here on the front end, get everything clipped back in, screwed back in, and get this car ready for application of body panels.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Application of hood.
Yes, we're gonna put that on the car and then we're gonna wet sand it. But we have to scuff the underside of it, so we're gonna flip it over and scuff that before we put it on the car. But
Gotta scuff it.
yes, it'll be fun. All right, guys, so we got the gaps adjusted and they're looking absolutely sick. Also did go ahead and jam the underside of the hood. As you guys can see right here, we did throw a little bit of some paint down there because did end up deciding that we are gonna go ahead and paint the car with the hood and the fender, and every single part is gonna be painted on the car except for the front bumper. We just decided that it's going to be a little bit easier to paint everything that way and it's going to look a lot better. And then that also minimizes the risk of us putting any panels on the car and having to adjust gaps when they're painted and then risking damaging the paint by hitting one edge on another and chipping the paint or something. It just minimizes a little bit of risk. So we're going to go ahead and paint it on the car this time. In this case, it's probably the better thing to do. Because I was thinking that I was going to paint the front and the back side of the hood in one go. But we just went ahead and jammed it and put it on the car. So we don't really have to worry about painting the other side now. We can just paint the one side. So that's pretty good right there. Now we're ready to go ahead and start wet sanding everything. So what we're wet sanding is this hood. So we're going to wet sand this entire door here. And then that part of the rocker there, we're going to wet sand this fender, this door, and then the brand new front bumper right there on top of the car. So when you're wet sanding a car and getting it ready for paint, you could also do dry sanding. We're going to go ahead and wet sand with the 600 grit, but you could do that dry sanding too. But the reason you do wet sand, if you do dry sanding when you're sanding down parts and getting them ready for paint on primer or on anything, it will actually tend to clog up your sandpaper and just make it basically not last as long, and you'll just be burning through sandpaper super fast. But if you do wet sanding, then it'll keep your sandpaper lubricated and your sandpaper won't get all clogged up with a bunch of hard big particles of paint. So wet sanding, probably the way to go. It's a lot easier and a lot nicer and more forgiving for the sandpaper. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. But you could also do it with a DA, but I just prefer that control because I don't like burning through the primer and then having to etch primer it again. I think this wet sanding is just more easier when it comes to paint because you are also less likely to burn through the primer when you are doing a wet sand. Dry sanding, more likely, and it does burn through your sandpaper more. Wet sanding though, it's more forgiving. So we're gonna wet sand right now, and it's really cold right now. So as you guys know, cold water and cold climate, it's not a very pretty feeling on the fingertips. So I went ahead and I put hot water in here, and then just for good measure, I boiled some water, poured it in here. I poured some dish soap in here, and I got my sanding sponge. Wow, this water is really nice. But I went ahead and I got that all ready to go, and we're going to be wet sanding with 600 grit the entire way throughout on all the panels. And the dish soap is just going to help degrease the panels, get any type of gunk and everything off of them. It's just going to furthermore clean it. Obviously, when we paint the car, we're going to do wax and grease remover as well. But pretty much that's all you need. You just need soap, water. One of these little sponges helps too to spread the water around the panels, and then a nice soft sanding sponge so it can go ahead and curve around the panels. Some 600 grit sandpaper, and maybe some headphones so you're not there just sanding in silence. So I'm gonna go ahead, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wet sand all this stuff right here, and then when my brother comes in, he's gonna join me in on wet sanding some stuff too. So let's just go ahead, get this all wet sanded and ready to be painted, guys, because we're ready to paint now. And this is still just the same video, guys, but it's a pretty quick flip, I guess. Little tip also, if you're close to another panel that has paint on it, you can go ahead and just throw a little bit of tape on the edge of that so you don't accidentally hit that with sandpaper and get a scratch in it. Little tip right there. But now, let's go ahead and get wet sanding. Also, I did mention it's colder climate right now, but I found this style of beanie right here, and I really like this one. I don't know, I think I'm rocking this, especially with the hair coming out around the edges. I definitely am loving this beanie. It looks really nice. But let's go ahead and get this wet sanded. Why was this so hard to take out? Got it out now though. Bumper. Alright guys, so we went ahead and got the entire car wet sanded and it came out extremely well. But now tomorrow in the morning we're gonna go ahead, turn this entire space into the Atlantic Ocean, get this thing tarped up and get ready to spray some paint on this thing and hopefully get this thing finished up with no problems. So I'll go ahead and see y'all tomorrow in the morning.
Hey guys, what is going on? So check out what we got going on back here. We have everything tarped up. This car, I'm going to put this paint tarp for the cars. I'm gonna put this over it everywhere. We got the bumper set up. We got heat lamps everywhere. And everything for painting is outside, ready to go.
Alright guys, so this garage is now turned into the Atlantic Ocean and it's basically a paint booth now. We have 3 very powerful radiant heaters in here. It's actually, I'm not even joking with you guys, it's probably hotter in here than it would be on a summer day. The car is very toasty as well, so we shouldn't have any issues with painting in the cold now, because sometimes when you paint in the cold, you can get some reactions and the paint will start to shrivel up and it's horrible. So now what we're gonna do guys is we're gonna go ahead real quick, wax and grease remover everything, go everything with a tack cloth and spray some self-etching primer on the areas where there's a little bit of bare metal. Reason we do that is because if you paint on bare metal, sometimes it could also have a reaction. The etch primer just helps with that to reduce that. Next, what we're gonna do is spray some sealer. This is adhesion promoter sealer. So it's doing everything that sealer does, but it's also sticky, so it's promoting the adhesion. The way what sealer does is really it just helps keep your paint lasting longer. It protects it from elements like bird droppings and, you know, random weathering things and water spots and stuff. It just helps your paint last a little bit longer. You don't need it, but it is nice to have. The reason why I'm putting it on though is because we have a lot of mismatched paint colors on the car. We got some black, we have some primer spots, and a little bit of gray that we're blending into. This will just help make everything one color, and the match on the gray will be a little bit better because gray is a hard color to match sometimes. So this will just help with that. And it's also sometimes with yellows as well. I sprayed this on the Camaro's front bumper and it helped match it up very, very well when we sprayed that car in. So we're gonna go ahead, wax and grease remover, tack cloth, spray some etching primer, adhesion promoter, then we'll do our base coat and then clear coat, and then we're done. Let's do it.
This stuff is real sticky, with some gloves when you handle with this.
Yeah, this is
legacy approved. I had a vision before them folks had a clue. Thank God I still had ability when we didn't have a roof. I couldn't even think of stability, let alone had the tools to be making change, and it ain't that ancient a memory. Strange that I can't forget where I came, but don't know if they'll do the same and remember me till I'm painting a bigger picture, making some bigger figures. I can't get stuck in that lane, that's deep, it'll be delivered. Trust me. I've been working and mercy, Lord. Trusting my process of monies. Looking for progress and pushing forward. Know I might fall while I'm running.
It's too fun. Okay, adhesion promoter / sealer has been laid. Now before we go ahead and spray the base coat, we want to make sure we get all the overspray of the sealer off of the parts where we're blending on. So you just go ahead, take out your tack cloth, and just tack cloth the areas a little bit, making sure that there's no streaks or anything. Two coats. Two. Coat number 2. Let's mix some more things. Here we have the chemist. You must be the chemist. Yes, I am the chemist. Okay, I just did the second coat. Now, since this car has metallics in the paint, we're gonna do one quick mist coat to even out any metallics so there's no weird like tiger stripes or anything in the paint. Mist coat. Just cleaned the base coat gun out with some gun cleaner. It's empty now. But these guns are insane. These are carbon fiber guns, and these just get me, painting itself is exciting, but these guns themselves just get me excited to paint. I love just folding carbon fiber, it's so cool. But now I'm putting in the clear coat gun. As you can see, this one has a white stripe, that one has an orange stripe, so this one's the clear gun. And we're just getting ready to spray some very high quality clear coat. And we got our little gauges right here. And I gotta go add some pressure in the tank, but looking really good. So now we gotta mix up some clear coat. I love this stuff. Let's go ahead and spray this in, and it's about to get really foggy in there because clear coat is the most oversprayy thing ever. More than base coat, more than sealer. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be some good clear coat. Let's do it. Just in case anyone says it, when I screwed on the canister, I forgot the filter. We're putting it on now. The perfect pour. Oh my gosh, talk about luck. We just mixed that and dumped it in here. Top of the line. We might not even have to come back for a refill. Okay, I just cleaned the gun. Now I gotta wait for the clear coat to cure. We'll come back to it.
Whew. Guys, that came out insane. Not a single run anywhere. I think we're starting to get the hang of the cold weather painting. We gotta get out of here. It smells bad. I took my mask off already. All right, guys, so it is the next morning now, and we went ahead and we untarped this car, and this paint is 100% dry now. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this thing out into whatever cold sunlight we have left right here. And we're gonna see what this car looks like in the sun. It's already looking sick with just the sunlight entering the room. It's looking really good, guys. This paint job came out absolutely slick. But now we gotta go ahead and move the Camaro out of the way so we can go ahead and get this car outside. So we haven't done this in a while, but let's get a cold start on the Camaro. Actually, now I think about it, come down low. We can do this remote start. It's gonna hurt my eardrums. It's up there with one of the worst rebuilds we've ever done. Mustang, probably the worst, right?
Mustang's like, yeah.
Yeah, Mustang's pretty
Flipped.
bad.
It flipped.
Yeah, it flipped. It rolled over off of a mountain like 20 feet is what the previous owner said, so...
It's a rollover, but it doesn't even look like it because the roof's fine.
Yeah, the roof's fine. It rolled over mid-air. That one was crazy.
Yeah.
But, alright, let's move this thing out of the way. Dude, insane. Time to get the Sentra out here, guys.
Wow, look at that paint job. Perfect match.
You're getting me excited. Dude.
Dude. Look at it. It's amazing.
I'm looking at it.
I can't resist but to touch it.
Oh my gosh, how can you not resist but to touch it? Well, you ready to take this to an automated car wash?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's insane. Let's go ahead, clean the garage, and then pop this car back in there. All right, guys, got the garage all cleaned up, got the car in here too. Let's go ahead and put the headlights on, build this front bumper up, put the front bumper on, and build the doors up and get this car 100% complete. I'm super excited to get this car done. Let's do it.
Wow.
Alright. Oh,
Clean.
looks very fresh. I like the way the hood came out. Oh my god. Looks really nice.
Look at that.
High five. Looks clean.
Too slow.
I'm just kidding. Ah.
All right, guys, so it is now the next day here, and we completely finished putting the car together, and it's nice and ready to go now. And we are currently on our way to a undisclosed location to talk about the car, and you guys get to see it in all of its rebuilt glory, and it came out absolutely amazing, guys. But we also went ahead and we washed the exterior and detailed the interior of this car as well, and got everything looking absolutely amazing. This thing literally smells and looks like a brand new car. It did used to have that little body shop smell inside of it, where it smelled like, you know, various body filler things and hardeners and clear coat and paint and everything, but we got it all out, and it looks, it's absolutely amazing in here now, guys. I'll see you at that undisclosed location. All right, guys, so this rebuild is finally fully complete. As you guys remember what this thing used to look like, it looked absolutely atrocious, guys. It was a little bit worse damage than we thought. We weren't expecting some of that frame damage, but we were able to fix it, got everything welded up, and this car came out absolutely sick. Not to mention this beautiful slick paint, guys. We got everything painted in. Now, everything that we painted in on this car was this door, and can we just talk about that paint match, guys? That is amazing right there. The lighting is a little bit funny right now, but that is a perfect match right there. This door and this fender, this hood, and this beautiful front bumper made of plastic. They're all made of plastic. But guys, this front end is looking absolutely insane. The paint job just came out absolutely phenomenal.
Ryan, I gotta say something. People say some hats wear people. You wear that hat.
Aww. Yeah, finally, we messed up the dab.
But the bumper.
Dude, we always miss it. Let's try redemption fist bump. We always miss the fist bump.
Still gonna miss it. I always look on it on camera. Let's try this. Hey! That hurt.
I know. Not only did we have to do rebuilding on this car, but we also had to fix some things that the previous owner caused damage on, such as that lower portion of that door on that side. Got that completely fixed, but then there was also some little wear and tear on this car too, such as the gear shifter not working, the screen being an aftermarket Pioneer sound system. We changed out that screen and we added in a brand new original OEM one, and we also added some floor mats in the car. Yeah, and then just a couple other miscellaneous things all over the car. But we got this car looking absolutely incredible, guys. And taking a quick look at this front end again, this car, guys, has like 120,000 miles on it. And we did not want this car to look like it had that kind of mile on it. Since we were rebuilding this car, we went ahead and we replaced this headlight too. So now this car literally looks like it has maybe 5 miles on it. It looks brand spanking new. You could never tell. And I just love that. This car looks brand new now. Miles are just a number, you know? This car will run forever.
It looks amazing.
It looks great. It looks amazing. Come on, follow me, guys. Look at the inside of this car. Literally looking like a brand new car. It looks absolutely amazing. And that's the front seats right there. But how about where the children sit? Looks even better.
Oh my god, they have floor mats now too.
Yeah, floor mats
Amazing.
too. I'm really liking this car. It's a really nice car.
Very comfortable, very nice daily. Very dailyable.
Yeah, super daily. But what is it? Almost 30 miles to the gallon, I think.
Yeah.
Super cool. All right. And if you guys were wondering why there was like a little red wire hooked up to the battery while we were rebuilding the car, my brother...
Put a sound system in it.
Yeah, he put a little sound system in it.
Wait,
guys.
what does Batman say?
Yeah, he put a little sound system in it.
He says, listen to these puppies.
He says, I installed some new subwoofers. I called them the dogs. Listen to them bark.
You should put the audio,
I'll
like
put
the little
the
thing
clip
in there.
Gotta check out these new subwoofers I installed in the back. I call them the dogs. Listen to them bark.
But it's funny. But yeah, just temporary. It's like just all willy-nilly hooked up like that. But
We could pop it out in 2
yeah,
seconds.
but it works. You just want to do it for fun because we have them lying around, and why not just install them on this type of
It's
car?
a good car to work on because wiring is not complicated.
Yeah, heck yeah. This car is pretty, guys. This car is easy. This is the first video. We kind of just like butchered the car a little bit together, kind of made it look like running and stuff. It was a pretty cool video. Now the car is done. We told you guys in the first video we got this car for $1,250. After fees and everything on this car, it was $1,700. But now, completely put together, this car's sitting right around $3,000. So definitely not a bad price at all. The most expensive part for this car, next to the hood, which was like what, 400 bucks?
300, 304, just a little over 300.
Just a little over 300. Other than the hood being the most expensive part for this car, would have to be the paint job. The paint job is right around $550, and I mean, it speaks for itself. It came out absolutely amazing, guys, and those carbon fiber guns, amazing. But we're done with this build now, guys, and the only other build we have left at this current moment, the Supra, it is still, you know, it's at the home garage. I don't know what to do with it yet. I'm not gonna let the car go yet. I don't know what to do with it, but more updates on that in the future. The only car we have left, guys, is the Mach 1, and then we get to go hunting for some new future builds, which I'm already looking at some new future ones already. But the Mach 1 would probably be the next build, guys, so stay tuned for that. But if you guys are loving this build or any of the other builds, be sure to go down below, hit that like button, and while you're at it, there's a shiny red subscribe button that you should click. But that is all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!